We think of cutting methane pollution as a cost for the economy, an expense for the oil and gas industry, for example. But a report commissioned by the Pembina Institute and the Environmental Defence Fund argues that it provides Canada with well-paid jobs and that we've got almost 100 companies based in this country involved in this mitigation. Let's bring in Amanda Bryant, senior analyst at Pembina. Amanda, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So mostly the mitigation, is this cutting back, detecting and cutting back on leaks from the oil and gas industry?
That's right. So in the oil and gas industry, methane is emitted in the form of unintentional leaks, but also sometimes intentional vents. So traditionally, equipment has been designed to vent. And so this methane mitigation industry is really focused on finding leaks and repairing them, and also providing technological solutions and services to mitigate those vented emissions as well.
Why wouldn't they just burn the emission, burn the methane? Wouldn't that be marginally better than just venting it into the atmosphere?
It is marginally better. So methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas. It's got over 80 times more potency as a greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. And so venting it is probably your worst case scenario. It is often destroyed through burning, and so that could take the form of open flares typically. That's a better option, but it's still not a great option because it's quite wasteful. That means that the gas just goes to waste. It isn't used. Methane is the main component of natural gas, so it is actually a really useful energy product. So if we're interested in energy security, for instance, it makes no sense to be venting and flaring it. It makes a lot more sense to be conserving it, keeping it in the pipe, and then putting it to good use.
And you guys point out that there's thousands of well-paid jobs in Canada in this sector. There's almost 100 companies based in Canada, and then many more based outside involved in the industry. And regulation is a good news in the sense that it's likely to stimulate growth in this sector.
That's right. So this is a really flourishing sector. You have, as you say, about 97 companies headquartered in Canada that are providing these solutions and providing these services. You have an additional 42 that are headquartered outside of Canada, but still operating in Canada. And you have about 350 locations where these companies are operating across Canada. It's mostly focused in Alberta, of course, but they're operating across Canada. And that's a great news story for Canada. This is a flourishing industry. It's doing really important work. And as you say, it's providing good jobs to Canadian workers. And those jobs often have a comparable salary to the jobs in the oil and gas sector. So this is driven by regulation. And so in order to continue providing that growth, providing exportable knowledge and solutions and investment, we really need a strengthening regulatory regime. Canada has proposed regulations right now. We're just waiting for them to be finalized. And so we'd like to see those finalized so that there can be some certainty that this really useful industry, really valuable industry can continue to flourish.
Can you give us an idea, has the oil and gas industry combated or opposed the proposed regulations?
So there's always a degree of negotiation when regulations are under consideration. Oftentimes, the industry will want to ensure that regulations are technically feasible. There's been quite a robust engagement process in the various provinces that have regulated oil and gas methane, but also at the federal level. And so our view is that those regulations federally are really ready to go. There's been very robust engagement with the industry, and so we can move forward with them.
Do you have a sense that the new government under Prime Minister Mark Carney will back down on proposals, or is it too early to say?
We very much hope not. So the Carney government has indicated support for methane action. What form that support will take is really still to be determined, I think. And so there's a question as to whether they will finalize that, release that proposed regulation as written, or whether they will take it back to further engagement with stakeholders and introduce more revisions and go from there. But as I say, there's been quite a long and extensive engagement process already with multiple stakeholders. And so our view is those regulations are ready to go. And once they're finalized and out, that can provide certainty for this very valuable industry that's providing good jobs to Canadians.
And one thing, I forgot to check this specifically, but municipalities or just systems like Enbridge's gas transmission system within cities, for example, they can leak as well. Is progress being made in tracking and ending those leaks, gas utility leakage?
Yes, absolutely. There's lots of very interesting and important research that's being done, often led by academic researchers, and they are looking at methane loss in those municipal distribution systems. They're looking at things like landfill methane as well. And so there's all sorts of sources within urban areas that are being better understood now, better characterized. And so we can go in with solutions to that as well. It's going to be regulated in a different way than oil and gas methane would be regulated. But we are learning quite a lot about those sources as well, and in a position to be mitigating those sources too.
Amanda, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Amanda Bryant, Senior Analyst at Pembina. Up next.